This is a 12-foot or 15-foot hunting canoe.
So I'm at my friend Dick's house, and he hand makes this, so I just wanted to show this little bit of this beautiful artwork here. And my friend Dick, thank you for taking the time to let us look at this, your awesome work. And again, like I said, he makes this. How many hours did it take you to make that?
200 hours, including gathering all the material. Because it's birch bark, white cedar, black spruce root, and it's caulked with pine sap with a little bear grease added to keep it flexible, and then it's not sticky when it's cold. And the white cedar, and it's really the root that ties it all together.
Oh, okay.
There's no glue, no nails, no screws. It's just the root is the key.
Huh. Yeah, this is beautiful work here. He showed me this a few years ago. Dick's nice enough to give us a little wood for the wood burner. And yeah, the work he does is amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and then on, I don't know if we can get back there, but I guess we can, yeah, go up.
Oh, this is good enough. This is good enough.
Yeah, there's another canoe back there. You probably, yeah, it's a 12-foot racing canoe.
Nice. And you make it the same way with that one and stuff.
It's a little deeper. It's 14 feet, 14 inches deep rather than 11.5 inches deep.
I gotcha.
And only 12 foot long. For racing canoes, you're just using in a bay.
Yep.
And a hunting canoe, you're going to take across
open
the
water.
and make them shallower so the wind doesn't blow you around because they're so light.
Nice.
So if they're deeper, then the wind hits the side and you have all the time
fighting it all.
So a racing canoe, you aren't out on the lake, you're just in a bay gathering rice. So you
racing.
make it deeper so it'll hold more
Beautiful.
rice.
Beautiful. Now this is where the magic happens. We'll go over to Dick's shop over here, and this is awesome.
And then in here, then I've made 4-foot models
these
in the grade schools. Because the up here.
Wow.
And the here's root. And
don't you steam this stuff to get it to bend, or get it a little?
You have to soak it.
Okay.
I put it in water. I put it in a 5-gallon pail, a bunch of it, and then put water in there, and then put a board across the top and a rock on the board to hold it underwater. Mm-hmm. When I can pick up the rock and it doesn't float up, then it's wet enough. If you pick up the rock and the stuff floats, put the rock back down. It's not ready.
Yeah.
And when it's dry like this, it's a little brittle. Mm-hmm. When it's wet, it's really strong wet.
And now this, because you have it looped together, you could soak this again, and this would be good stuff. You could untie it.
Yeah, a lot of times. Now this is actually one root, but if you notice, it's been split in half the long way.
Yes.
And the reason for that is that when you're lashing the sides or doing the seams, this gives you sharp edges. Mm-hmm. Where if you leave it round, then it's smooth. And because all I do to tie it off is I just tuck the end under, and the sharp edges hold. Where if it was round, it would slip out. When it gets wet, it's a little slippery, it would come untied.
That'd be a bad day.
Yeah. So the natives figured out how to split the root in half the long way, and it isn't hard to do. It's just tedious.
Yeah. Well, this is beautiful stuff, and you got to do what you're surviving. So it takes time.
These are some samples of birch bark, and the amazing thing to me is when it dries, it turns inside out. You wouldn't expect that. You would expect it would stay the way it grew. But when it dries, it goes inside out. So that's one reason you put the brown side out. The other reason is that's the way it wants to bend.
Yep.
And the other reason is the brown side is much smoother. The white side will peel off.
Okay. Now, do you do the same thing with this, where you soak it until it doesn't float again?
No, well, the bark is so waterproof. Water won't really go through it. It will absorb moisture, but so you have to soak this about 30 days before you can use it.
Nice. Oh.
Yeah, because it takes a long time for it to absorb enough water to get flexible again.
Cool.
Yeah. And then these are just bark paddles to help you get the bark off the tree.
Oh.
You cut the bark, you cut it down, up and down vertically, and then you grab it with your fingers and thumb and pull it open, and then you can stick these in, and it's just so much easier than using your hand because you're tearing your fingernails and stuff.
Now, when you pull this bark, do you like rim it at a certain height to know, like, hey, I need a 3-foot piece? I go 3 foot top and bottom, so that comes off cleanly around the tree.
Like for making that 12-foot or 15-foot canoe, I wanted a single piece bottom.
Oh.
So I was looking for a tree 10 to 12 inches in diameter with no branches in the bottom 15 feet. Well, that means you got to get into really thick woods.
Yeah.
Because other words, there's branches. Thick woods, it gets really tall, and then it gets bigger around. And
I gotcha.
The problem is, in thick woods, it's hard to find the trees. You know?
Yes.
The old saying, you can't see the forest for the trees, right?
Yes.
Well, that's true. You get into thick forest, and you could be within 30 feet of the nicest tree you ever saw, and you don't see
Never find it.
Yeah. So what I do is I go up where they're clear cutting for pulpwood. They don't take the birch. It makes bad paper. They're just taking the pine. So there'll be a clump of birch standing there, and you can see whether it's been damaged by the logging equipment.
Yeah.
If it hasn't been, just take your ladder and your hunting knife out there and take it off.
Now, this stuff isn't easy to find here in South Dakota. Some of this birch you've got at other places you've
none
been.
of this material is native to South Dakota. You got to get. It grows from Maine to Lake of the Woods in Minnesota, and that's where all the canoes were built, on either side of the border.
I gotcha.
100 miles, north half of Minnesota, north half of Wisconsin, Michigan, and then New York, Maine. Yeah, that's just, all that stuff all grows in the same area. Yeah.
Beautiful.
You can see. Let me turn it over here. That the seams aren't in this exactly the same place, and the reason for that is as you're bending the bark, you let the bark tell you where you've got to cut it, because you got a compound curve. You got it curved this way and this way. So as you're bending it, it wants to buckle. Wherever it wants to buckle, you just cut it, and then you sew it back together.
I gotcha. When you punch the holes in here, do you use a drill or like a little leather tool in a sense, or what works best?
The natives used either a sharpened bone or a sharpened deer antler. Nice. I used a 1/4-inch drill because it's a lot faster. And now that, if you poke a hole, you've got you still have the material there, and then it's easy to go through one way, but hard to go through the other way.
Understand.
So if you drill a hole, you've taken the material out. It's a lot easier.
I gotcha. Cool.
And then what this particular stitch you want to have the part that's outside so that the water doesn't catch on it. So it's in this, the water will flow right on by it. And so you've got the end up here, and you come through here over to here and then back, and then it comes up to here, and that holds the end, and then across and up and across and up and over and then back under.
Tuck it away.
Yeah.
With the same style root.
All of the cross stitches that would interfere with the flow of the water flow are inside.
Awesome. Do you need to get that Mama will? Perfect. Perfect. Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. And then here's the caulk, which is 95% pine sap, and then a little charcoal from your fire to turn it black. Because for some reason, which I have never found out why, the natives wanted the seams to be black. I don't know whether it was religion or superstition, or that's just the way Granddad did it.
Heck yeah, for sure.
But you notice that you can move it. It's stiff,
but
it's movable. It's flexible.
Yep, it's got a little bit of
and that's what the bear grease does, and it doesn't stick to you.
Yeah.
And when it's hot and melted, you just melt it on the stove. Then I just dab it on with the stick. Then it'll stick to everything.
Nice. How long does that take? Probably 15-20 minutes before it's hard enough that you can almost be good to go? Cool.
Yeah, doesn't take too long and it sets up. Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. So yes, this is beautiful work here, Dick. You're amazing, a true artist. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. Don't you have some of these in the museum around here too, or what?
Well, I'm going to put one of those that are out. Probably the 15-footer will go into the Brookings County Museum. I have a Red River cart that I made for the Aberdeen Museum.
Awesome.
And which was also an interesting woodworking project, but whole different kind of job.
And I think you told me before, but I don't remember how many hours does this one take. This takes more than that.
This is about 40 hours.
Oh,
for
40.
the
Yeah, okay. 40 hours. Heck yeah.
And the
beautiful.
Because you got a lot of lashing.
Yes,
and that
yes.
It's
Time
tedious.
and
It takes time.
stitching the old-fashioned way. Beautiful work. Well, thank you very much, Dick, for taking us through your awesome woodwork shop here. And again, you're a true artist. This is amazing. All OEM, original, and it's beautiful.
That's basically the way the natives did it in 1800, except I used power tools when I could.
Absolutely. Gotta love modern marvel. Awesome.
Ever since we've had electricity, life's got a lot simpler.
You're not kidding. It's beautiful. But awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, Dick, and we appreciate it. We appreciate it all. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.